energize. Hello, Con. Don't even think about trying to beam back out of here. I had a transport inhibitor in place the second you materialized.
My dear Crowforest, I'm afraid you have me confused with someone else.
My dear Con. No, I don't. You may have fooled all those idiots on your ship with the whole Dr. Noonian thing, but not me. And you can knock off the fake British accent while you're at it.
Fine. What do you want with me?
How about this for starters?
What do you want me to do with this?
It doesn't do anything. I want you to make it do something.
And if I don't?
Then I'm afraid you will leave me no choice but to reveal your true identity to all those new co-workers of yours. If you're lucky, you'll spend the rest of your life in the brig. But for a traitor to the Federation like you, who knows? Maybe they'll even turn you over to the Klingon justice system.
Alright, fine. I'll modify your stupid gun. Anything else, Captain?
Yes, actually. While you're at it, do you mind building me a transport inhibitor? I was only bluffing. Hello and welcome to Crowforest Reviews. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. So we start off with the aforementioned intro segment in which the toys are getting ready to watch the movie that you already started. The movie is delivered by the toy soldiers, and Rex is way too overexcited about watching it. Though, to be fair, that is kind of his default state. Woody, being the sadistic bastard that he is, decides to take advantage of the situation and pretend that the movie is jammed and that they won't be able to watch it, causing Rex to have a heart attack. So they finally put the movie in, and hey, wait a minute. Isn't this just going to show them putting the movie in? How are they actually going to ever start this thing? We're just going to be stuck in this loop forever!
It's the new action-packed Buzz Lightyear movie!
The movie properly opens in space! Buzz Lightyear and his partner Warp Dark Matter are on a mission from Star Command to locate and rescue the 3 kidnapped Little Green Men, or LGMs as they are commonly referred to. Their search brings them to an uncharted moon in the Zeta Quadrant. See? It says so!
Procedure is what separates us from the wicked forces of chaos.
If it means less paperwork, I'll take chaos.
Could it be foreshadowing? Nah, probably not. Buzz and Warp discover 3 LGM stowaways, and they confirm that the missing LGMs are, in fact, on the moon via their mind link. They further say that there is evil around. This, of course, immediately causes Buzz to jump straight to evil Emperor Zurg. Mostly because Zurg is the only evil force in the entire universe. But they have bigger problems to deal with at the moment. Namely, that it's been nearly 5 minutes into an action movie and there hasn't been a fight scene yet. Fortunately, this is soon rectified. They're attacked by a bunch of crater vipers, which is weird because crater vipers never hunt in packs.
Crater vipers never hunt in packs.
Everyone knows that. I mean, duh. But before they have time to even wonder what would cause the crater vipers to so drastically change their hunting patterns, it's revealed that the apparent crater vipers were actually all just the fingers of a crater viper slag monster mutant.
I should have guessed! A crater viper slag monster mutant!
Yeah, in hindsight that was pretty obvious. The LGMs use their mind link to determine that the missing LGMs are in fact underneath the crater viper slag monster mutants. This leads to the most confusing 25 seconds you are ever likely to experience. So Buzz and Warp are trying to drag the CVSMM off the doorway to Zurg's lair, but they don't have enough power. So they use their lasers to slice off the ledge right above them. The giant slab of rock comes right down towards them, and it's about to crush them when they're saved by a jump cut. The camera switches angles right at the last second, and now the slab of rock is in much smaller pieces. Then they're in a tunnel for some reason. The now reconstructed slab of rock crushes the CVSMM, smashing it down into the door that they were trying to reach, and burying the whole thing in debris. Buzz and Warp fly out of the dust cloud and look down. The LGMs are now somehow a good 10 feet below them, despite the fact that they went sideways in the tunnel thing. They land on the ledge and look down, seeing the desired doorway completely cleared of rubble, with the CVSMM smashed against the rock face, nowhere near the door. What the hell just happened? Anyway, cut to inside the Zerg subterranean outpost, where the missing LGMs are being tortured by brains in jars. But Zerg is not happy with the way the operation is going, so he takes it over himself. Meanwhile, outside the outpost, Buzz is trying to laser the doors open, but they won't budge, being made of a laser-resistant alloy, so Warp knocks on the door. They are about to walk in when the LGMs start screaming in pain, feeling the torture that their brethren are going through. When Warp asks them about this, they say that it's because of the Unimind that allows them to think and feel as one. They break into the lair just as Zerg is about to pick the brains of the LGMs.
By the authority of the Galactic Alliance, you are hereby charged with attempted dissection of Star Command personnel.
Why is that specific charge written into Star Command legislation? Anyway, Zerg makes his escape, turning on the self-destruct sequence on his way out, and now Buzz and Warp only have 60 seconds to escape.
This time you shall not escape!
Just watch me, Zerg.
Yeah, just watch me on that video feed that I just destroyed. Wait. Buzz and Warp are down to their final 10 seconds, but Warp is trapped by some fallen debris. Buzz tries to pull him out, but Warp hits a button on Buzz's spacesuit, forcing Buzz to jet up into orbit and thus to safety, leaving Warp behind. And with that, the base explodes, taking Warp with it. Cut to Star Command Station, where the Rangers are all gathered together to hold a memorial service for Warp. Buzz blames himself for Warp's death, and he's so torn up about it that he vows to never work with a partner again, not wanting to put anyone else in danger. Cut to Buzz's new partner training.
Buzz, meet your new partner.
Partner?
Well, that resolution lasted about 2 minutes. That's only because the training montage took that long. Buzz, of course, refuses to take Mira Nova as his new partner, and he and Commander Nebula get into an argument on the subject.
What's to keep the princess from ending up like Warp?
Yeah, well, maybe it's the princess keeping you from ending up like Warp.
Okay, hello? The princess has a name.
Buzz storms off, leaving the whole partner issue unresolved. So anyway, we cut to the main launch bay, where a star cruiser is taking off. And this is where we meet another of our main characters, Booster. Booster is the janitor of Star Command, and as such, he does not have the security clearance to go into the launch bay, but his curiosity gets the better of him, and he goes in anyway. This results in him getting caught, but then he's saved by the arrival of Buzz.
This place is filthy, and it goes right to the subatomic level.
You don't know what that means, do you? After the other Ranger leaves, Booster laments to Buzz about how much he wants to be a Ranger, and Buzz reassures him that he will be able to pass the entrance exam. Cut to Zerg Tower, a very evil place. These subtitles are so helpful. We're now introduced to another villain. Zerg now has a new sidekick, whom he dubs Agent Z, and that's all we really need from that scene. Cut to Szay the LGM homeworld. See, so helpful. Where Zerg's spy drone disguises itself as an LGM in order to get footage of the Unimind. Once the Unimind has been brought to the surface, Zerg launches an assault on the planet. Meanwhile, the Star Command LGMs have created a robotic space ranger, and they are anxious for Buzz to try out the prototype as his new partner. He of course refuses, but when he goes off to save the LGM homeworld, XR, or the Experimental Ranger, tags along anyway. So Buzz and XR fly in and blow up a bunch of Zerg's robots, and at first it looks like they have the upper hand, but then the dynamic changes when Agent Z shows up. They fight for a little while, even doing a weird laser ricochet thing, but in the end, Agent Z wins, blowing up XR and hitting Buzz hard in the chest with his flamethrower.
Ooh, the flamethrower!
This leaves Zurg open to steal the Unimind unhindered, and they make their escape with it. Buzz retrieves the disintegrated pieces of the fallen XR and brings them back to Star Command. The LGMs attempt to repair the damage, but without the assistance of the Unimind, they find the task to be incredibly difficult. But you don't need me to tell you that. Buzz monologues the whole thing.
The right stuff. Then came the wrong stuff. Selection of auxiliary gear was obviously non-regulation. They had lost it.
Well, that's a bit harsh. Anyway, cut to Zurg Tower, where we finally learn what Zurg's plan for the Unimind is. He hopes that by turning the Unimind from good to evil, he will hopefully be able to enslave every free mind in the Galactic Alliance. You know, mind control, evil puppet type scenario.
You're telling me my plan. I already know my plan. What I don't know is how close you are to accomplishing my plan!
Sorry, please don't kill me! Zurg is annoyed with his minions by their distinct lack of progress, and he decides that it's time to take things into his own hands.
Want something turned evil? Turn it evil yourself.
And so he does. Just like that. If it's that easy, why didn't he just do that before? Back at Star Command, the Rangers are all gathered in the briefing room, and Commander Nebula is outlining a plan for a full-scale attack on the planet Z. But Mira Nova has a counter-suggestion. She believes that they will have a higher probability of success if they use a single one-person spacecraft to slip past the defenses unnoticed. Buzz agrees with her, annoyingly finishing her sentences for her, but Nebula objects. That, of course, is the end of it, and neither of them try to steal the Alpha One.
You were about to hijack the Alpha One.
What are you doing down here? You were about to hijack the Alpha One.
So Mira steals the Alpha One, and Buzz has to go after her, unknowingly taking Booster and XR along for the ride. Oh, right, I forgot to mention, they stowed away.
Whoosh! Look out for the asteroids, XR!
Meanwhile, at Zurg Tower, note the big gun on the roof, we finally get that scene that they ripped off in the first Toy Story movie.
Plus end went to the plus part, and the minus end went to the minus part!
That would do it, huh?
So with the battery now installed correctly, Zurg is ready to test his new Unimind gun, and Brain in a Jar number 29 suggests that they target Rhizome, the planet of the vegetarians. And this naturally leads to this heartwarming exchange.
How long have you been with my evil organization? I don't really care, alright? Unless anyone else wants to tell me his or her life story.
Remember, kids, Zurg is an equal opportunity employer. So they fire the gun at Rhizome, and Zurg exposits that he is now in control of every mind on the planet. Having successfully tested the Zurgerific Ray...
Zergatronic, you lackwits!
Sorry. Having successfully tested the Zergatronic Ray, they are now ready to target Star Command. Cut back to Buzz chasing Mira through space. With his superior rocket power, Buzz easily catches up with Mira, and he grabs onto her ship with an extremely low-tech tractor beam. Yeah, budget cuts are hard on all of us.
Stop those thrusters, Mira. You'll just burn them out.
I have an extremely tight grip on you with this suction cup. Buzz reels Mira in. They hear voices coming from the cargo bay, and they find the stowaways trying to escape unnoticed. But Booster and XR are saved further embarrassment by the proximity alarm going off. Buzz moves his ship out of the way just in time as Zurg's Zergatronic Ray flies past them and hits Star Command. Buzz and the others go to the station to investigate. They soon discover that this was a very bad idea and leave as soon as possible, but the mind-controlled Space Rangers follow them.
I got a lot of red lights blinking over here!
Except for the fact that those are so obviously green. Anyway, the other Rangers manage to blow up Buzz's ship, but fortunately they are able to escape by launching the Alpha One.
Warning, bullshit alert!
Where do I even start with this one? First of all, it really doesn't matter that you launched. You were still well within the blast radius, so the explosion would still have destroyed you. Second, the Alpha One is not that small. They would have seen you. Look, here's the Alpha One in front of the ship, and here it is again on top of a tiny piece of shrapnel. I think this calls for a second.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
So anyway, Buzz and his companions crash land on the planet Z after Booster accidentally sits on the emergency water landing button, leading to this classic line.
That's not a spacecraft. It's obviously a weather balloon. Let's leave the brain work to those with the brain, shall we?
It's funny because weather balloon! Buzz orders the others to vacate the planet so that he can get a nose ring. Or possibly so that he can take on Zurg by himself, but probably the nose ring.
Who's getting a nose ring? That's why Buzz wants to ditch us.
So after a little arguing, they leave, so that we can have our classic one-on-one showdown between the hero and the villain. And Buzz is captured. Wow, maybe he shouldn't have sent away his only backup. Well, to be fair, he was a little distracted by seeing his dead partner. Knowing that he is only moments away from death, Buzz does what he always does in such situations. Files a report.
Buzz Lightyear mission log, final entry.
What's he doing?
Mission log. He's a procedure nut.
No, actually he's sending a transmission to the Alpha 1, and Mira and the others immediately come to his rescue. They quickly take out Agent Z and some of the cannon fodder, so they have a standoff with Zurg, but he ultimately gets away so that there will be a villain to fight in the spin-off TV series. So, with Zurg temporarily out of the way, Buzz and Mira attend to the more pressing matter of the corrupted Unimind. Mira uses her ghosting power on Buzz and pushes him through the Unimind's surface and to its core. This immediately turns the Unimind good again and starts a chain reaction that reverses the mind control on everyone previously affected by it. And so, having saved the day, they all return home, where there are no lasting consequences from the Unimind incident whatsoever.
To infinity and beyond!
Could they always fly? And so the movie ends with Buzz's new partner ceremony, wherein he gets not one, not two, but 3 new partners. That's right, the guy who didn't even want one new partner now has 3.
To infinity and beyond!
So that was the Buzz Lightyear movie. How was it? Well, this movie certainly isn't for everyone, and I would understand if this just is not the movie for you, but this is actually one of my favorite movies. I don't know if it's just the nostalgia-colored glasses talking, but everything about it just seems perfect to me. The story, the characters, and the animation, everything's just perfect. So if you like crazy over-the-top space opera type adventures, then this might be a good movie for you.
Sure this is a good idea?
Not at all. But right now, he's the only chance we've got.